Welcome back, guys, to Incentive Talks with JMAC. And this is the first time ever I'm doing a podcast just to understand a different perspective of different people, how they see life. And today, down here on the table, I've got Axel. She's a very great personality, a very great artist, costume designer, and a very good hearted person. Welcome, Axel, to the podcast. And it's going to be a very great time and fun to talk to you this morning. So today, as I mentioned, we are talking about life. So how's life? How life's treating us, and what are the purpose of life? Like we wake up every morning, we do our chores, we do our job, we engage into different stuff, and we live our life. But the question is, how do we want to live our life in future? Like how do we see ourselves in futures? So that's the question. So what do you think about like having a greater purpose of your life?
So, as you introduced me, I'm a costume designer. I've been kind of into arts my whole life. So, for me, I think my purpose is very much fueled by feelings, like living in life and waking up every morning. It's not like I have a clear idea of what I want, it's more like I feel something, and then I have to either act on that feeling or just like make that feeling go away because sometimes these feelings are not pleasant. But obviously I imagine it's different for other people with different life career paths.
Yeah, as we can see, like as we live in London, and London is a land of opportunities and ambitions, and a lot of people come into the city with great ideas and great mindset to achieve something, to become something, just to in a way that they can be proud of themselves.
I think it all happens by kind of getting to know yourself, like growing up from a little age as a child. You will start doing things that bring you happiness, like drawing, playing football, uh, playing with computer games, or doing science stuff. And obviously that enjoyment will translate into, yes, this is what I want to do. And that will create this drive, I guess. And so I think everything happens kind of based on your feelings, like whatever brings you joy will will be the first, if you're lucky enough, if you're in a family that allows you to have that freedom to choose your career or like just pursue a goal that brings you joy.
But unlike, there are some people who has a big question mark in their life. So if we specifically think about them, or like if we want to tell them something, how and in what ways they can find their purpose in life, because most of the people, they don't know what they are doing. I mean, they just do it for the sake of doing, like as a monotonous thing, and they end up thinking like, I mean, they end up thinking that the life is not treating them very well.
As you said, that some people have this question mark in their head whether what they're doing, they just waking up and just on repeat. Like, I think it all starts by kind of exploring as well. And yeah, just I'm sure everybody has some idea of what, or even just role models that they see in TV, they read in the news, or like see on social media, that like, yeah, I want some aspects of this person's life in my own life, and then you can maybe start from there.
True, yeah. Actually, uh, I was reading a book, and there I got this idea stuck into my head, saying like, it's all come down to your mind, your mindset, like how your mind feels and how your brain thinks is the similar way you see the world. So if you think that you are great, you are doing very good, and in a way you want to do something for the society, for the world, for yourself, for your family, just to make it shorter. So if you have developed your mind in a way that you first know yourself, and then you motivate your mind to actually work on that, and that's how you see the world as a great place of opportunities. So what do you think about treating your brain, or like just like keeping your mindset positive, like at all times? Because we know that like there are thousands of cases where life, people, situations, circumstances will hinder your mind and they will demotivate you or spread the negativity around. But how do you make yourself strong, and how do you tell your mind that you have to get over this and you have to just focus on your purpose?
So I think if you have faith, if you're lucky enough to have been raised into a religion and you actually feel like that religion is yours, that can be a great source of positivity and guidance. If not, then you can also start by looking into, what do I even believe in? What do I think is the bigger picture? How do I fit into that picture? And yeah, that can be sometimes challenging and not necessarily bringing you the positivity that you're looking for, but I still have hope that it will lead to that eventually, once you find that exact place where the world needs you, because I believe that whatever you need is also the thing that needs you to fulfill that. That's what I believe, and that brings kind of a positive.
Yeah, it kind of says like whatever is meant for you, it will actually end up being coming to you. So rather than chasing, you have to treat yourself in a way that you attract all these things. For instance, if there is a person and if he goes continuously to believe in himself, then he won't even think about other people, other situations, what is happening around him. He will just be focused within himself. So in what ways you can not think of what people think about you, what opinions they about you, and just keep the focus within yourself and get on, like keep moving.
You see, I think as much as you have to focus on yourself, and you should not rely on other people's expectations or opinions too much, the world is also a mirror. So it will reflect parts of yourself, whether you like it or not. And I guess what you do with those feedbacks is on you, and that will also shape you. So you can take a feedback in a positive way, where you think, oh, okay, so this is something I can use to improve. Or you can obviously be like just angry about it and say like, yeah, this is not me, this is bullshit. And
Yeah, well, initially emotions are there to trigger you, but that's the main game. Like that's the game changer. Like when you start controlling those emotions, you actually break through them, and you just find out that you have that potential within you. But that's the key thing we are down here on the table to discuss. Like how do you do that breakthrough? Like how do you identify that potential? Because it's very easy to talk, like it's very easy to sit and talk, but it's very hard to put in your actions and your efforts and be on ground and keep working, because that situation will actually make you realize that it's very hard and it's very compelling to be there, because most of the time people, when they fail or when they get demotivated or when they don't feel well, so in that case they tend to just quit. But instead of quitting, in what ways in that actual situations we can tackle them, and how we go through, like how do we understand and how do we train our mind that this time is gonna pass, this emotion is gonna pass, this situation, this people, are they gonna pass. It's just me who's gonna be there, like I'm the main hero in my story, like in my life story. So how, what standards, what values, what virtues I need to be grounded with, and how do I put my efforts, how do I put my methods, approaches, XYZ in a way that no matter whatever happens within around me, I have to just keep moving. Like, did you had ever had any experience within your life personally you can share, or like how do you think people should tackle those situations?
just a few things that came to my mind. One thing is that sometimes life will get super hard, like talking about loss, grief. when it's not only motivation, it's so much emotional pain that it's natural to feel demotivated and not wanting to do anything. So in those cases, give yourself time, feel those feelings, because the more you push those feelings away, the more they're going to come back and set you back later on. So there is cases when you just have to give in to these, and it's normal and it's okay. The other thing that came to my mind was that we are we are human, we are all people, and we live in our bodies. So like the very first and most important thing to begin with is like look after your body.
Yeah.
Like that's the place how you live. So if your body is not well nourished, well,
Well, nutrition.
yes, sure. If your body is lacking something, then that should be main priority to fix. If you're not sleeping well, if you're not eating well, if you're using alcohol, drugs, anything that alters your brain chemistry, fix those, because that might be the first thing that causes your problems. And then obviously there might be some past issues that are like internal monologues
Yeah.
that stop you because you have this belief that like, oh, my dad told me that I will be never successful, and then that thought is setting you back because it's just so ingrained into your being. But
So it's just like avoiding the past trauma you experienced. Like the more you keep on recalling the past trauma, the more you're gonna be in that vicious, continuous circle, and you're not gonna break through.
but you see, this is why therapy is so important, because
Yeah.
sometimes these patterns are not recognized by you. These are just kind of some subconscious just scripts that you follow without you even being aware of it. So you have to dig these things out, and then you will get maybe just a little bit closer to who you really are and what you really want.
For me personally, like whenever I feel down, I only think about a bigger picture. Like after this, what I want to achieve. Like, and that's what keeps me motivated. Like no matter what, I have to do this. Like in our religion, in our spirituality, so our spiritual guru teaches us like whatever you do, just keep in as a ultimate goal, that like I'm doing this to make my guru raji, like to please my guru. Like all my actions that I'm doing is just to please him, and once I get his ultimate rajibo, like once I get his ultimate happiness on me, my life will be happy. So that is my idea, that is my little thing I give to myself whenever I feel down. So that moment gives me the sparkle back to just ignore all the bad things and just keep moving. So that was one for me instance. But how do you keep yourself motivated in the situations, or like how what are different ways or different approaches like people keep themselves motivated? One such is podcast, or it could be therapy, you said, or it could be talking to a near one, dear one. Yeah, like some different ways.
So I'm gonna talk for the alternative people, the people with a darker past, the artists. That this is probably a bit darker, but this has to be mentioned. Like I previously talked about grief, that my motivation sometimes is painting the worst case scenario. Um, do I want to die? No. So I just have to keep going because I don't want to stay like this forever. So I guess thinking of the worst and that I don't want to get stuck, just I just have to do it, because staying like this is probably worse than working on my
So you're
goal.
always being optimistic about the growth.
It's
That's
more
how you
like
pull yourself.
it's more like that more like in my experience, life is pain, but growth can also be pain, so I'd rather choose the pain of growth
Yeah.
than just the pain of
Yeah.
doing the same thing over and
True.
over again.
Yeah. But in a way, like over that journey of pain, failure, because most of the time it says like you achieve success only once. But in order to achieve that success, you have to be ready to fail 1,000 times or a million times. You never know. So in that pattern, like, how do we be optimistic? It's the clear idea. Like, so as we talked about, we identified our goal, we identified our purpose, and we know that these are the ways you're gonna get failed. So this creates a fear, like sense of fear, a feeling of fear. So how do you feel in those situations, and how do you, just not overthink about it? Because most of the time people do think is about overthink the situations, overthinking because of the fear they have that if they get failed, people gonna laugh at them, blah blah, all different opinions. So as we know that first things first is to just get rid of overthinking and not to overthink the fear, which will actually make you demotivate and not do the efforts. So you are already done if you don't try. So you have to try first and just don't think about the fear. So any comments on like how do you tackle fear?
First of all, with the lovely words of ChatGPT, these feelings are very human and very normal. And it's do not judge yourself for feeling weak at times, because that would just be like a vicious cycle. So first of all, acknowledge I'm scared. And then you can just calm yourself that okay, this is not the end of the world, because sometimes it can feel like it. And once you've made peace with that okay, the sun will rise tomorrow again, that's a new beginning, then you can maybe work out a different way, because okay, this way didn't work, then what did I do wrong, what did I do not enough, or maybe just I should give it some more time, because sometimes you see, you plant seeds in the winter and then the next day you come and it's not there. You don't have the plant, but then you just have to keep doing the same thing, like watering, leaving it there. Like imagine putting the seed in the soil, the next day there is no plant and you just dig it out like, oh, this is not going to work, but you just got to leave it there. So sometimes this is the faith part, where you just have to know what you've planted and that it will take time.
By end of the day, our goal is to be happy. So in a way, I'm here trying to connect how happiness and how our purpose of life are interconnected. So what do you think? Like, how do you define happiness in this situation? Like as a broader picture. Well, it's a very tricky question for anyone to answer. Like if any random person walking on the street and you ask him, "Hey, what is happiness for you?" There will be different answers for different peoples. There is no one such definition. But what we want to discuss today is like for example, a little minute thing for you can bring you joy, can bring you happiness. But it won't be the same for me because we have different perspectives, different opinions, and different mindsets. So, in a way, as a broader picture, in these situations, when you are struggling with life, you are struggling with your problems, you are struggling to live positively. So, in a way, how do you define happiness?
So I think you use the word joy. So just like we need to be very clear with the words what we're actually looking for, because joy is just a very temporary thing. It can be sometimes just a cheese and pickle sandwich. Um, but I think happiness, again, we shouldn't seek for the thrill all the time, like the highlights, the being like in that kind of sense of ecstasy, because that again is just temporary.
Yeah,
So I think what you should look for is fulfillment, whether
yeah, satisfaction.
yes. So it should be like a calm, like warmth that is filling your body, and you're just not, you don't feel like fear all the time. Obviously life will bring challenges, even if you're feeling fulfilled overall, but yeah, I think it's just gonna be like a calm, steady, like very beautiful feeling, not something hyper.
So it's like can conclude maybe happiness is a mental attitude. What do you think? Rather than being a materialistic thing like money, wealth, house, car, luxury, XYZ. It's just the mental attitude of being fulfilled, being content, or being satisfied with what you have and what you bring to the table. Like you truly become happy when you make other people happy.
That's a gift when you can
Yeah,
give already. That's huge when you're in the position
yeah.
that you can you have something to give. That's great. You have so much if you can give.
It doesn't require any other people to see how happy are you, because happiness is just it's just a thing that which only belongs to you. Like you can be happy in different ways. You don't need other people's opinion or situations or anything to give you a label that, oh, he's happy or he's not happy or he's trying to be happy. So yeah,
Absolutely. Yes, like maybe the weirdest things can bring you happiness, and if you're denying yourself that happiness because of fear that others will not accept it as happy or register it on their spectrum of happy, oh, that's too bad for them. You do you.
great. Yeah, it was very nice to talk to you,
Very nice
Axel.
to talk
Thank
to
you
you.
very much for your time.